Welcome back to our continuing series, How to Triage Cancer, in partnership with Armor Up for Life. My name is Loriana Hernandez Aldama. I am the founder of Armor Up for Life and also a two-time cancer survivor. Our role with Armor Up for Life is to help patients amplify the patient voice and help them out through great organizations like Triage Cancer. So I want to introduce you to the founders of Triage Cancer, Joanna Morales and Monica Bryant, both attorneys, both incredible resources for everything you need to know about triaging cancer. So today we're going to be talking about a very important topic that people reach out to us about is disability insurance. So Monica, I want to start with you. First, explain what is disability insurance.
For most people, when they are taking time off work, whether that's for a short period of time or for an extended period of time, typically that time off is unpaid. And so many of us can't go an extended period of time without receiving any sort of income. It's in fact why we work. So disability insurance is an insurance policy that someone can either buy or access through the government to help replace lost wages.
When you talk about buying disability insurance, by the time they're diagnosed with cancer, is that too late?
Potentially. So there aren't the same protections that we now have in health insurance with pre-existing conditions in disability insurance. So it can be a barrier to purchasing disability insurance once somebody has a cancer diagnosis, but it doesn't mean it's impossible.
So on that message, again, where I always say we have to be prepared, it's over my other shoulder. That's part of our messaging of Armor Up for Life. If you're watching, and we've said this in other episodes, even if you're not diagnosed with cancer, this is proof that it's never too late to get prepared for any sort of illness by knowing what your rights are, getting disability insurance, knowing you're protected in the event your world flips upside down. And on that note, I want to send it over to you, Joanna, to talk about more about disability insurance and give us examples of when you would need it.
So it kind of depends on the type of disability insurance that you have access to, but you might need disability insurance if you're just going to be out of work for a couple of weeks, or you might need disability insurance if you're going to be out of work for a couple of years. So depending on the medical condition that you have and how long you're going to need to be out of work, you might be looking at short-term disability insurance, which is typically for medical conditions or will last up to a year, where long-term disability insurance is typically for medical conditions that are going to last at least a year or longer.
So when you're talking about the short-term disability, the long-term disability, is this you're referring to all through your employer? And if so, when do you shift gears and say, I need to go outside my employer and go through something through the government?
So there are different types of disability insurance. So there are private disability insurance policies that you can buy directly from an insurance company. And that's where they can take into consideration your pre-existing condition and potentially deny you. But there are also private disability insurance policies that you get through your employer, where your employer is providing that as part of an employee benefit. So in addition to maybe health insurance or vision or dental, they're also providing a short or a long-term disability policy or both. And so in those cases, they're also going to take into consideration a potential pre-existing condition, but they might just have exclusion periods where they won't cover you for a certain period of time, like a year. And then if you happen to live in one of the 5 states or Puerto Rico that actually cover state disability insurance, that's an option that's available. And all of those plans are short-term disability plans that last a year or less. So those states are California, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Hawaii. So we're really only talking about a handful of states that offer this benefit. So if you need to take an extended period of time off, or you have a medical condition that is expected to last a year or longer, then you're looking at long-term disability. And if you don't have that through a private insurer, then you'd be looking at the federal government that provides 2 long-term programs through the Social Security Administration. There's Social Security Disability Insurance, which is SSDI, and there's Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI.
Okay, that's great information. And I wish I understood all of this when I was going through it myself. Monica, I want to send this to you again, based on some of the calls we get coming into Armor Up for Life and a family that recently reached out to us. So at what point does someone who is trying to remain hopeful, who says, no, I'm not leaving my career, I'm not leaving my job, I don't want to be pushed out of my job, I just need time to fight cancer. At what point do you go from the short term to realizing it's long term? And then how long does your employer have to let you hang on there to their long-term disability before you actually have to go to federal?
So there's not going to be a one answer to that question. It's going to be so personal. What I will say is when I'm on the phone with individuals who contact Triage Cancer for assistance, sometimes there is a feeling that they don't want to apply for one of those long-term disability programs through the government because they almost feel as if that's giving up, that they're sort of, signing on to the fact that they're not going to get better. But the opposite could actually be true. In fact, there are return to work programs through the Social Security Administration. So what I really try to let people know is that there's no crystal ball. We don't actually know what's going to happen, but don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from potentially receiving the benefits that you need sooner rather than later.
And Joanna, is it difficult to get approved? And do you need an attorney to get that disability insurance?
It can sometimes be hard to tap into your disability insurance benefits. Generally, it's easier if you have a private disability insurance policy through an insurance company or through your employer than it is to apply for the long-term disability benefits through the Social Security Administration. But we do get asked a lot, do I have to hire an attorney to apply? And, as attorneys, we generally say, no, you don't have to hire an attorney just to apply. And actually, your healthcare team can be the most helpful in helping you gather the information you need for the application. But sometimes when someone is denied disability insurance benefits through the Social Security Administration, they get to a stage in the appeals process where it might actually be useful to have an attorney help you get through that process so that you can get the benefits that you're entitled to.
All right. So Monica, some patients might ask, can they work and collect disability benefits? Is this something that they can work through the disability?
Maybe. It's really going to depend on the source of disability insurance and what working means. So there are some private disability insurance policies that will cover somebody if maybe they've gone from full-time to part-time and their salary has been reduced because of that. The disability insurance company might make up a portion of that lost income. But even with the Social Security Administration, there is an amount that people are able to earn each month and still be able to collect benefits. So again, I always feel like my answers to you are maybe and it depends, but it really is true that a lot of this is going to be very specific to each person's situation.
But I think, like you said, it's okay to say maybe because it's a starting point and every patient needs to know what the possibilities are. And again, every case is different and every case is unique, but at least both of you are giving such incredible information to help patients get started to learn more about what their rights are. Joanne, I want to ask you, is there anything else I haven't asked that you would like to talk more about? Maybe perhaps appeals. Is there anything else that patients can do if they're not getting what they think is due to them to help them get through their journey?
It is very important for people to understand when they apply for Social Security disability benefits, 65% of those applications are denied the first time around. So the system is almost set up to deny people. And we really don't want people to take no for an answer. We want people to go through the appeals process if they think that they're unable to work because of their medical condition. Because as you get through the appeals process, you're much more likely to actually get the benefits that you need.
And what about disclosure? If you're a private company and you're watching this, what do companies need to know when their employees come to them? Monica, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I'm not so sure about what companies need to know. What, again, we typically talk to people about is if they're receiving disability insurance from a private insurance company to be very conscious of what they are putting out into the universe with respect to information. So, for example, if somebody's on disability insurance and maybe they are accepted into one of the great, camps or adventure nonprofits that we partner with to do one of those adventure activities, if they're posting that on social media and the disability insurance company sees that, they could potentially stop benefits under sort of the idea that, well, hey, if you can go on a, I don't know, climbing trip, then you can go to work. And the disability insurance company doesn't necessarily recognize that there are all sorts of protections and things put in place by these great organizations. And so we just don't ever want someone to lose benefits because they've posted something that could be misconstrued online.
Absolutely. Great information. Well, again, Joanna Morales, Monica Bryant with Triage Cancer, thank you for helping all of us navigate cancer and learn more about how to triage cancer. We will continue more of our series at a later date, but thank you again for joining us.